Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here at 7 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about personal responsibility. Seems kind of weird talking about personal responsibility because if I really believe 100% in personal responsibility, I shouldn't have to talk about it. It's your responsibility. I'm just kidding around. All right, I don't even know this first thing I'm going to talk about. Dewine, Governor Dewine in Ohio. I'm not even sure what to say about this. All right, Ohio is facing. They have 5,000 people in the hospitals. COVID-19. It's a 200% increase since November 1st. They're reaching a point where the hospitals are going to have a hard time, if not an impossible time, treating stroke victims, accident victims, people coming in. It's going to be a breakdown of the hospitals and the emergency care system. And especially with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming, is we already, like I said, a 200% increase in hospital people in the hospitals in Ohio. So as governor, I started thinking about this. As governor, he's a Republican governor. Can you just sit back and watch this happen as your emergency services break down and fall apart, or do you do something about it? If you do something about it, what do you do? Obviously, until the vaccine comes out, you got to encourage the people to slow down the spread of this disease. How do you do that? Because, a lot of people talk about personal responsibility. It's my choice. Thing is, it doesn't seem to be working that well. Obviously, with this huge increase in people being hospitalized and the spread of this, and when it gets to the point that the emergency care system starts to break down, what kind of society are we at that point? I think it gets to a point where this personal responsibility mantra, obviously, people are being irresponsible. Some people, if not all of them, but some of them. So what are you going to do? You just sit back and let the hospitals be overrun? Let ambulances line up in front of the hospitals with people dying from accidents or driving around for hours trying to find a hospital they can get into? Because that's what's going to happen. Not having enough doctors and nurses. This is reality right now. This isn't a fantasy. It's not a scare tactic. It's now or the very next week or the near future. As governor, what does he do about this? So he instituted, I just got a brief idea of this, so I'm not going to lecture or anything, but I'm just trying to take a look at this, So what does he do? Does he just sit back and just basically watch his part of his society crumble as governor? So he institutes a mask mandate about having stores at least post on their doors that people are required to wear masks. The stores have to police themselves. If they let people in without masks, they're penalized after a couple of warnings. I think they're shut down for 24 hours. It didn't sound too serious. I don't know. I don't live in Ohio, so don't flip out on me. I'm just looking at the overall situation. Because obviously, look, it gets to this point. Something has to be done. This personal responsibility and our freedoms and Constitution and all that, it doesn't seem to be working. We got another month here, a precarious month, where things are going to get worse. And what if it's your family that's in an accident and there's no doctors or nurses available to treat them? Because that's a real possibility. Then people are going to want to hang the governor because he didn't do anything about it. Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Right now, they want to impeach him. They want to impeach this governor because he's concerned about the welfare of the people of his state. They don't look at it that way, of course. They look at him as overstepping his powers. He's being a tyrant, making them conform to masks, and it's Russia, it's communism. I'm just looking at the overall. Did I get anything wrong here? I don't know. To actually, and this is a GOP governor, and his own party wants to impeach him because he's actually trying to do something to salvage the emergency care system in his state before it completely gives out. 5,000 people hospitalized right now. A 200% increase since November 1st. And that's just the start of these numbers. Obviously, and it ain't going to get better. It ain't going to get better in December. It's more than likely it's going to get a 10, 20, 100-fold worse. What's going to happen then? These hospitals, the doctors, there's not going to be enough. It's going to fail. What happens at that point? What do you do with your personal responsibilities at that point? Yay, we got personal responsibilities. We don't have to wear a mask, but you're going to die on the side of the road or die in the back of an ambulance if you get hurt or you have a stroke. Yay, personal responsibility. It is what it is. You can't. I guess my point is you can't have everything. Maybe if you want to save your emergency care system, you might have to sacrifice a little personal freedom and maybe put on a mask. I know it's asking a lot. It's a slippery slope to communism, putting on a mask, and next day we're lining up in bread lines. I know. And let's see. The next thing I want to talk about, Raffensperger. Okay? I started to think that he wasn't a bad guy because he was standing up for Trump. I've talked about him lately a lot in my videos. He was standing up to his election system, that it worked. He's the Secretary of State in Georgia. And he looked like he had some, he was trying to do the right thing, even though he was going against Trump. Trump threw him under the bus, And I talked about this in a video where he said, I'm still a supporter of Trump, it sounded like he was trying to appease his fellow Republicans. I still support him, I do. I just wanted to do the right thing, All right, so yesterday, I believe it was, I hear him on TV and he's talking, I believe, I don't know if it's in the legislature in his state in Georgia or whatever, but check this out. Talk about taking personal responsibility and victimhood. He's actually saying that he thinks that it's the Trump supporters and the media that are forcing Trump to keep this voter fraud thing up. It's not Trump. He's just doing what the people are pushing him and convincing him to do this. The people keeps talking about voter fraud. And the media, like Fox News, seriously, so this is what he seriously said. So it's not Trump. This is a quote. He's just out in front of it. That's all. It's not his fault. He's a victim. There's no personal responsibility there. It's the people in the state and the people around him that are pushing him to talk about voter fraud. It's not him. Even though Trump himself started all this stuff months ago, because he already foresaw that he might lose. But no, let's not talk about that. Seriously, Raffensperger is actually saying that it's not Trump's fault. That every day he's talking about rigged elections. It's not him. He's being pushed. He's being put out in front of this by these Trump supporters that believe the election was rigged. It's not his fault. And the media, of course. It's always the media. The media, that damn enemy of the people. Enemy of the people. Jeez, where have I heard that before? Communist countries? Anyway, all right. Just some thoughts. Do with them what you will. Have a good Tuesday.